All right. In this problem set, we are going to look at opportunity costs and go through some opportunity cost problems, looking at opportunity costs, production possibilities, frontiers, and comparative and absolute advantage. So let me zoom in and then we'll work on the problem. Okay, so for this one, suppose that we have two individuals, Usain Bolt and LeBron James, and we're looking to see their two tests that they can complete are miles ran or baskets made. So here's our production possibilities frontier. So we have Usain Bolt and LeBron James, and we have, they can run, so we're looking in an hour, and we can see, okay, they run however many miles they ran in an hour, and how many baskets they can make in an hour. Okay, so Usain Bolt, if he spends his whole hour running, he can run 50 miles. And if he spent his entire hour shooting baskets, he could make 100. LeBron James, if he ran for 1 hour, he could run 25 miles. And if he spent all of his hour shooting baskets, he could make 200. Okay, so for this problem, we're going to go through part A. So part A, who has the absolute advantage in each activity. So here we're going to have the absolute advantage for miles ran and the absolute advantage for baskets made. Part B is draw the production possibilities frontiers for both Usain Bolt and LeBron James. So draw the production possibilities frontiers for Usain Bolt and LeBron James. And then for this one, we want miles ran on x-axis, baskets made on the y-axis. And then part C, find the opportunity cost for each person in each activity. And then part D, who has the absolute and comparative advantage, or who has a comparative advantage in each activity. So who has comparative advantage, CA, in each activity. Okay, so what I want you to do is go ahead and pause it. So go ahead and pause the video, and then when you're finished, we'll go through and go through the problems together. So pause it, and when you're ready, go ahead and hit play. Okay, so part A, who has the absolute advantage in each activity? We define the absolute advantage as who can produce more of a given resource in a given amount of time. So we want to know who can run the most miles in an hour and who can make the most baskets in an hour. And here, if we look at miles ran, Usain Bolt can run 50, LeBron James can only run 25. So Usain Bolt has the absolute advantage in running. At baskets made, Usain Bolt can make 100. LeBron James can make 200. So LeBron James can make more baskets than Usain Bolt. So LeBron James has the absolute advantage in making baskets. Usain Bolt has the absolute advantage in running. Part B. Draw the production possibilities frontiers for Usain Bolt and LeBron James. Okay, so here I'm going to erase up here. Or actually, I'll put them right here. So here's for Usain Bolt. And here's LeBron James. And we want miles ran on the x-axis, baskets made on the y. So MR, BM, BM, MR. And then if we draw it, it looks like we can do 50 baskets, or 50 miles ran, or 100 baskets made. So that's Usain Bolt's production possibilities frontier. For LeBron James, he can run 25 miles, or he can make 200 baskets. So that is the production possibilities frontier for LeBron James. Part C, find the opportunity cost for each person in each activity. So we want to find not just how many they can do in a given amount of time, but what they have to forfeit to complete each activity in that time frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the opportunity cost just in this diagram. So I'm going to erase this and go off my production possibilities frontier now. And remember, we measure opportunity cost as what we forfeit divided by what we gain. So in each activity, Usain Bolt, if he wants to run miles, that means that he has to forfeit making baskets. So to gain 50 miles, Usain Bolt has to give up 100 baskets made. So he's giving up 100 baskets made to gain 50 miles of running. So if we simplify that, that works out to equal 2 baskets made per mile ran. So for Usain Bolt to run 1 mile, that means that he has to give up 2 baskets. For baskets, Usain Bolt has to forfeit running 50 miles, but he gains 100 baskets. So he forfeits 50 miles ran to make 100 baskets, or to gain 100 baskets, and that simplifies to 1/2 basket made, mile ran per basket made. So the opportunity cost for Usain Bolt to make 1 basket means that he has to forfeit running 1/2 of a mile. Or we just take this and take the inverse of it. So the inverse of 2 is 1/2. Okay, then for LeBron James. For LeBron James to gain 25 miles, he has to forfeit 200 baskets. So LeBron James forfeits 200 baskets made to gain 25 miles ran, which comes out to 8 baskets made per mile ran. So for LeBron James to run 1 mile, he has to give up 8 baskets. And then lastly, we can take the inverse, or we can think of LeBron James has to forfeit 25 miles ran to gain 200 baskets made. Or the opportunity cost for LeBron James to shoot baskets is 1/8 basket made, mile ran per basket made. So for LeBron James to make 1 basket, he only has to give up 1/8 of a mile. Okay, so here's the opportunity cost structure for Usain Bolt and LeBron James in miles ran and baskets made. And then lastly, we have part D. So for part D, who has the comparative advantage in each activity? So we want to know who has the lowest opportunity cost for baskets made and miles ran. So here we can do miles ran. So this is for absolute advantage. And baskets made. And then this is going to be for comparative advantage. So here we go back up to our opportunity cost structures, and we want to know who has the comparative advantage in running miles. Well, for Usain Bolt to run 1 mile, he has to give up 2 baskets. For LeBron James to run 1 mile, he has to give up 8 baskets. So it costs LeBron James a lot more to run miles than Usain Bolt. So Usain Bolt has to forfeit less relatively to run than LeBron James. So Usain Bolt has a comparative advantage in running miles. So this will be Usain Bolt. And then vice versa, if Usain Bolt has the comparative advantage in running miles, the other person has to have the comparative advantage in the other activity. And sure enough, we see that 1/8 is less than 1/2. Or LeBron James has to forfeit relatively less miles run to make 1 basket. Usain Bolt has to forfeit 1/2 of a mile to make a basket. LeBron James only has to forfeit 1/8 of a mile to make a basket. So LeBron James has the comparative advantage in baskets. So overall, if I give you a list of how much each person can do in a certain amount of time for each activity, you can go through and you can find who has the absolute advantage. You can draw the production possibilities frontiers. Can you find the opportunity cost? And then lastly, understanding comparative advantage. And that completes our opportunity cost exercise.